Hi everyone, this is Mike Gordon here, and welcome back to my perfect playthrough of Lasorda Baseball. We had just finished off our first series against the Giants, and now we get to start our first of 3 against the Houston Astros. Boy, was this a much more frustrating game to play than the Giants were. Yes, I utterly smoked them, but it took me several tries just to beat them. The 7-0 win doesn't tell the whole story. To start, the Astros pitching is much trickier to gauge than the Giants. Most of their pitches seem to just narrowly stick within the strike zone. As a result, it's much more difficult to tell whether or not to take a swing. And even if it is within the strike zone, it might be too far away for you to reach it. Case in point, just like that. It was barely within the strike zone and I didn't swing at it. And this one was a lot more trickier to get because it was too close. And see what I mean? All of his pitches are just teetering on the edge of being in or out of the strike zone. As a result, your swings, even if you connect with the hit, tend to be very weak.
First baseman. Out.
And now and that's the bottom of the first.
Shortstop.
And this part isn't too bad. I'm basically trying not to throw direct fastballs because almost every one of their swings becomes strong hits.
Shortstop.
And those become much more difficult to prepare for and sometimes lead in home runs. Alright, this one... And there really isn't a whole lot to say for now. Other than this, I just get a home run. I don't actually get a home run, I actually get my first man on base. Thanks to that strong hit. That was a rare fastball thrown.
First baseman.
And I can at least be glad that the one area that the Houston Astros isn't terribly good at, it's actually getting outs. They tend to have a very less than competent infield. As they don't really gravitate towards first base all that much.
Second baseman.
Of course, in this situation they did, and I was able to get a run out, which is a good thing. It's always good to get a single run, even if you have men on base. And this is basically when the problems start occurring because almost every hit in this game becomes a strong hit.
Ball.
And I probably should have pulled my pitcher out of the game at that point. I didn't do that because I want to preserve the perfect game.
First baseman. Out.
At least for as long as possible. I kept going with this game because I still had a perfect game in the wings, but I'm gonna lose out on it pretty soon. So yeah, as it turns out, pretty much the only area where this game does not excel at is the infield. That's the first baseman, second baseman, shortstop, and third baseman. See? Okay, that actually makes sense for them to do that.
Second baseman.
But I just have a hard time scoring points for a while. And I think I just barely I just barely caught that.
Second baseman. Out.
And yeah, and pretty much everything else just plays out as normal.
Center fielder.
And I actually had to use an outfielder because my second baseman was locked into his base. Even though he's the closest guy to the ball, I couldn't move him.
Foul.
So we're at top of the fourth.
Third baseman.
I actually got a really good one, so I was able to make it all the way to second, which is always a good thing. It actually gives you a better shot at scoring.
First baseman.
And yeah, never mind. I tried to bunt it and I instead got a double out.
Ball.
And that was actually a rare instance where getting a head start actually costed me. And I kind of forgot that I was
First baseman.
on base.
Shortstop.
And that was actually, I was kind of lucky that rolled right into the shortstop's hands and not flung into the air.
Center fielder.
And do I catch this one? Yes.
Out.
And not even the guy that I was controlling either.
First baseman. Foul.
So, yeah, see, I get a lot of fouls and a lot of weird, and
Out.
it doesn't even matter because I can barely read.
First baseman.
And see, that was right on the tip of the strike zone, and I was as far as I could go to reach it, which basically meant that my hits are not going to be very strong when you're barely tipping the ball.
Out. Third baseman.
And this is kind of when things start to go wrong right here.
Left fielder.
That was basically projected to be a home run, but I barely caught that, and I assumed that would be an out, but I guess not. I guess it hit the wall or the floor or the ground first.
Third baseman. Out.
So I just threw it to first, and I was actually and I had to remember that I was at bat.
First baseman. Foul.
So I lost out on the perfect game right there, and that's not going to be the only time they get the ball. But I get a single right there, so yippee, hooray, happy new year. Oh, and happy Mother's Day too, since I'm recording it on Mother's Day. So I'm actually more surprised that this ended in a 7-0 blowout than I was at all, considering how difficult this game
Center
was.
fielder. Out.
Yeah, when I say that the infielder's a bit less than competent, I'm not saying that they are
Foul.
brain dead. I mean, they don't make the right, smart decisions all the time.
Right.
For example, sometimes they will throw it to first base, only to throw it to second base,
Out.
in anticipation of me actually making a run for it, which allows me to get a free man on base.
Out. Third baseman.
And at some point I'm basically going to end up getting someone on base
Second baseman.
on virtue of not getting there on time, but I just kept playing. Got 6 hits and 2 runs out of it, including a home
Third
run.
baseman. Foul. Second
So
baseman.
this is definitely the type of game where you would and see, they threw it to second base instead of throwing it to first.
First baseman. Out.
And I think I get another run off of this.
Second baseman. Out. Safe.
I'm pretty sure I get another run off of this. Maybe even a homer. No, I get another run. So really what happened was I kind of got lucky in the final couple innings.
Out.
So yeah.
Out.
There really isn't a whole lot to say because at some point I basically have to swap out my pitcher because no, and I missed that one, so I give up another hit.
Safe.
All because the second baseman locked onto the base instead of catching the ball, and I actually missed that one again because once again, at that point I basically had enough. I needed it. Well, it took me a little bit of a while because it's hard to tell what you're supposed to press.
Ball.
And I threw a outside of the strike zone just to make sure. Now I basically it's like screw this, I'm finishing this team off with the new pitcher.
Second baseman.
And keep in mind I was trying to throw outside the strike zone both those times and not only didn't come nowhere close to leaving the strike zone, but they got strong hits both times, and I missed the ball both times. So I was like, nope, I'm taking matters into my own hands.
Second baseman.
And I was actually kind of fortunate that they aimed at towards second base instead of first. If the AL was actually smart, they would always go for first. Because you're not as because you can't really make an inch closer to first base.
Second baseman.
So now I have a full base, all men on base, and I basically had to finagle a lot in order to try to get first, second, and third baseman to move.
Shortstop.
Again, since this is emulated, I could, on an emulator on my computer, I can actually just technically hold all three buttons at the same time. But I basically decided to keep it as close to grounded as possible.
Right.
And I'm basically trying to build up at this point, trying to build up a cushion for myself. I don't get a home run off of this. I don't even think I get any score again off of this.
Third baseman.
Nope, I don't. So at this point, you probably are starting to think, this. You sure about this?
Out.
But no, top of the ninth, I basically put the game away. But here I'm still at danger of losing because all of their hits are strong hits.
Safe.
And all it takes is for a home run or or hit so strong it misses all of my infielders.
Second baseman. Out.
Alright, so this is basically where it's all game, set, and match at that point.
Second baseman. Out.
Alright. Once again, it doesn't look like it's gonna blow itself up, but
Third baseman. Foul.
yep, it's 2 strikes, 1 out. And I got a ball off of this. And now now even the pitcher starts sucking wind. But really, the opposing pitchers never really seem to lose arm strength.
Ball.
Now I actually get a base on ball. Man. I think I get a base on ball off of this. Yes, I do.
Ball. Base on ball.
So that's how I get my first man on base at the top of the ninth.
Shortstop.
And by the time I realized I could make third base, I basically had no time to prepare. And this was amazing because that allowed me to steal second, steal third, and get a run off of that. So that was amazing. I know that was also a bit of a glitch.
Shortstop.
And I get another run off of that. And 2 runs! So, yeah, I don't get another home run, but I get, thanks to 2 strong hits along the left hand side, along the left foul line, I was able to basically put the game on ice. So I had no need for a run. So once again, this is pretty much a single segment run.
Third baseman.
The only save state used was at the very beginning, just so I could save time
Third baseman.
during my introduction, but the game itself was played single segment.
First baseman.
And there are no complications. I pretty much wound up winning handedly. So hopefully next time, not only do I get a much better game a lot quicker, but I'm able to get that elusive perfect game. This is Mike Gordon, signing out.